Welcome to another Book Talk with Tracy. This is the second segment talking about some plays that I've written, specifically ones that were published by JAC Publishing. And in fact, these are the 5 plays that were published by them. We have Little Red in the Hood, Dorothy's Road Trip, The Western Tale, and these 2 have actually been picked up by someone else now since JAC Pub has retired. And today I wanted to talk more about these 2, Hook's Nemesis and Allie and the Magic Lamp. They're both quite long, so they are longer plays. They would be a running time of at least 90 minutes, depending on how much music and dancing and things like that you have in them, because there are opportunities for that kind of thing. These are both large cast plays. So they're made for a large cast. They're also very flexible in terms of the casting. So a lot of the characters can be male or female. And they are definitely like a 2-act. You wouldn't be able to do them as a 1-act play, as some of the other ones are shorter. But for sure, these ones are 2-act plays. And so, as I said, they're large cast plays. I did write them originally for my drama club. I had a club, an after-school club, and I've actually produced both of them myself twice. But of course, they have been produced around North America because they were sold by JAC Pub after they picked them up. I think I'll start with Hook's Nemesis. I remember driving in the car somewhere on a long road trip and thinking, wouldn't it be cool if Hook was a female? If Captain Hook was a female, and the reason that she was so neurotic is because her mother, she had a neurotic mother. Don't ask me where I get these thoughts, but I remember that thought going through my mind. I think we were on summer holidays and we were driving, and then that percolated, and I ended up writing this play for my students that next Christmas when we did a big production. And so that's actually it's got a little bit of a twist there, because Captain Hook is in fact this neurotic female, and her mother is on board. So it's, you can see the mother who's always nagging and who's never, she really wanted a boy. And so Captain Hook, was a disappointment because she turned out to be a girl. And that's part of the reason why we see all her neurosis. There's a lot of fun with that in this play, that sort of neurotic side of Hook. And in fact, she has a teddy bear that nobody is supposed to know about and that she talks to. And a really fun prop, so we bought a teddy bear and then we chopped off one of its legs and put a little wooden hook. So the teddy bear actually looks like a peg leg teddy bear, but really fun. It also has Three Stooges style crew members, Shmee, Schmuck, and Shmoo. A lot of fun with those 3 characters. And originally, I made those young actors watch some old Three Stooges because I wanted it to have that sort of a slapstick vibe to it when those 3 are interacting on stage. And then, of course, we can't forget there's Peter Pan as well, and there's Tinkerbell, and there's the Darlings. The Darlings are a little bit different too. Again, we have Mrs. Darling, who's a bit of a control freak. So we have these 2 really strong female, Captain Hook's mother and Mrs. Darling, who end up kind of clashing. Of course, then there's Tiger Lily, there's the Lost Boys, and a character which is, I don't think, in any of the original Peter Pan stories, but Chief Ooga Booga. And he's Tiger Lily's dad. But Captain Hook's mom and Mrs. Darling kind of end up fighting over him a little bit. So there's a lot of really fun stuff. As I said, I made it so that the cast members were fluid in terms of gender, but Wendy is a bit boy crazy, and she's interested in Peter and different guys, so that's one thing. But the other 2, I call them JJ and Mickey, could be either male or female. Then another interesting twist is the dog. If you remember in the original, the nanny is actually a Saint Bernard or something. But in this case, we have a nanny. Her name is Super Nanny. And spoiler, she ends up saving the day at the end. She's a superhero in disguise, and that's super fun as well. Just so many twists and turns in this. It's really clever, if I do say so myself. There's a lot of really clever dialogue. There's a lot of unexpected things. And I think it's just really a great version of the Peter Pan story. I will say the first time I produced this was probably my very favorite set that I've ever built. And I say I built it, but in fact I didn't do much. My husband did a lot of it. But because of the theater space that we had, we were able to have like a 20-foot mast going up the center. So the main stage was set up like the ship, Hook's ship. And I don't know where, we got all these ropes. A friend of mine ran a theater in Whitehorse, and they had replaced all their rigging. And it was like, wow, can I borrow that? So we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet of this really thick rope from the rigging at that theater. And so we had all this rigging woven together, and we had this huge mast, and I made a flag, with the skull and crossbones, but of course, it looked like a female skull, which we starched so that the flag stood right out. It was a beautiful set. I have to say it was my favorite set. And then all the things that weren't on board, we actually, brought flats in and had them in front. But it was a really nice set, my favorite. Second time I produced it, it was still a nice set. It certainly wasn't as elaborate as that one, but for sure that was my favorite of all time. And the play itself is just tons of fun. Tons of fun. So, it's actually fun to read. I chuckle when I read it myself. I just looked at it again recently, and I had a good belly laugh because it's a really fun read. So I just, I encourage you, invite you over to my website. Please check it out. Check out all my books, all my plays. You might find something interesting that you'd like to read. It's tracykrause.com. No Ian Tracy, 2 S's in Krause. And you know what? I thought I was going to talk about both of these plays, but it looks like I'm going to need a third episode to talk about Allie. So until then, I will see you again. Bye-bye.